Hey guys, Darlene here. I just wanted to do a quick video showing you how I converted my uninked white ink pad into a Memento ink pad. So I had a customer purchase this. This is what you purchase. You get this uninked white craft stamping pad, and it comes with the white ink refill. But we're not going to use this. We're going to save this for our actual white pad. And then you also need to purchase the Memento refill. Okay, so a couple of things. We're going to take off the wrapping. I wanted to do this from start to finish. So you're going to take off the plastic. And one of the first things I want to do is I have one of these slick writers my friend Jeanette gave me. It's quick dry ink for slick surfaces. I don't know where she got it. You could probably find it on Amazon, but you can pretty much write on anything and it makes it permanent. I write on my blocks. I put my initials on my blocks using this. Doesn't come off. So the number here on the ink pad is incorrect. And I did just verify this on the site. I don't know why, but anyway, I have the correct number and I've got it written right here on my ink pad. So I'm just going to write this on here. So in case you ever want to replace this or need to replace this, 147277. That is the number, the item number to order. So 147277. Now that's going to dry. Also on the back here, you've got this label. And typically, let me just pull this one. Typically, you would put it on the front with the name. This one happens to say, well, maybe that's not a good idea. Here we go. Secret C. And then on the inside, you can put the solid one, Secret C. So when the pad's open at home or at a class or whatever, you can quickly see what color ink pad you have. Because when it's open like this, I mean, it's hard to tell. Anyway, so that's what those are for. For this pad, I'm only going to put the solid black one on the front here so that I'll know that this is my Memento pad. And to do that, this is just a sticker, so I'm just going to lift this up like this. I got it stuck. There we go. Okay, so now this is the front of the pad, right? So this is just going to stretch across like that. And then now I can differentiate between which pad is actually for white ink and which pad has black ink in it, okay? And my white pad is one of the older style. I've had it forever, but it's the same pad. It's just we have the new style case. So when you're wanting to use the white, I don't re-ink the whole thing, and I only put ink on this when I want to use it, and I just place a little bit of the ink onto the pad, rub it in with a spoon, and then use it, and then it's ready to go for the next one. Okay, so that's my friend. Now we're going to, that's pretty much dry. So I'm just going to open this. Now you could also cut this label. It's because you don't really want to have the white, right? You could cut that label. Oh, it's a brand new pad, so it's hard to open. Okay, so when it's hard to open, sometimes you can take your thumbs and your forefingers at the end, at the top of the pad, and press, and it'll pop open. Of course, it's not going to do that. So, and this is me struggling just because I recently had surgery on my hand, on my wrist. Okay, so now, so you could take those side pieces, like this whole thing can come off, but I'm going to let her decide if that's what she wants to do. And she can take labels off and stick them in here. You can put them on the side. You can do it however you want. We're not going to be using that. So I'm going to take her Memento refill, and I'm just going to start squeezing the ink out onto the pad. It's going to take a lot. So we're just squeezing that out, and then it's going to start to soak in. You can see some of that ink is sitting on the top there, but that's okay. We're just gonna kind of scoot it around. You can also see where it's starting to soak in. See how that's soaking in right there? Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna have a baby wipe handy and a plastic spoon. Staples in your craft room. Okay, for whenever you're ink. This is how you re-ink any pad. So I'm gonna take the back of the spoon. I am just gonna make sure that it's just stained, but I wanna make sure. And then I'm just gonna gently start pushing that ink down into the pad. So this is not my original idea. There's so many people doing it this way, but I have found that I get a much better, clearer, crisper, dark black image, solid image on this foam pad versus the regular Memento pad that is a linen pad. So yeah. All right, so now that's all smushed down in there, but it's not ready to ink yet. I happen to have a little stamp here. I just did a video, and let's grab a piece of scrap paper and let's see. Well, let's grab another one. Let's just grab this. It's not bad, but it needs a little more ink. So I'm just going to press out a little bit more. And I've barely used any of this bottle. Oops. I have to clean that up. Okay, so that's probably, wipe this off. And then I'm going to take the baby wipe and come in here and clean this up. Kind of shut off the edge there, didn't it? But that's okay. It'll clean right up. No harm. Maybe make sure you've got scratch paper underneath you just in case. So that cleaned right up. All right, and then we're going to take a spoon again. And I don't know. I mean, I'm doing circular motions. I don't know that that's necessary, but I'm not pressing down too hard, but you know, firm. Really pushing that ink down into that pad, and then you can you just want to make sure it's evenly distributed. And it doesn't matter about the corners. I mean, you don't really ink on those corners, right? You could really go in there and concentrate and get it, but as the ink really starts to settle into the pad, it's going to fill up everything. And you'll start to see it go down the sides, and I'll show you what mine does. Mine was done several months ago. I have not had to re-ink mine yet. I probably used about the same amount of ink. All right, but I want to grab a solid stamp. Let's just go ahead and clean that off. I want to grab a stamp that's got more solid image so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to grab Spooky Halloween, and I'm going to grab the little cat because her witch's hat and her boots are one of the main things that I was so impressed by this pad. Look how solid. There's no skips in it. I guess it's not her feet. You have to color in her feet. Oh, but her pumpkin. Her little pumpkin pail. Yeah. So, yeah, I like it. Okay, so now her pad is ready to go, and she's got her re-inker for when if you just notice that it's not as crisp or dark as you want it anymore, it's time to re-ink your pad. And then you just pull this out, and you're good to go. So that is how I was going to show you mine. So you can see how over time mine has filled in, and that's just the ink settling down into the pad. Anyway, there's mine, and there's hers. All right. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, here's the number again. 147277.